to conquer your mental battles is the end of procrastination. Do you have an idea, but you keep on procrastinating? Do you have a great idea, but you have no idea how to put it into action? Do you have a great idea, but you're too afraid to share it with others? Hello there, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me yet, I'm Lupe Eight, and I spent 10 years of my life in my 20s becoming a musician. I traveled all over the world. I overcame a lot of insecurities, a lot of trauma, and a lot of fears that I had, learning all sorts of different things, methodologies, techniques, therapies, plant medicine, to overcome the trauma that I had with my voice, the trauma that I had with being myself in front of people. The funny thing is that I created a career as a musician where I had to perform in front of hundreds of people. And even when I thought that I had completely overcome my traumas, my blockages, or however you want to call it, I reached a point where my body and my mind asked me to stop for real. In that moment, I went back to Argentina, to my hometown, and I had the gift of life to be able to study hypnotherapy. When I started learning hypnotherapy, I understood that everything that I've learned to survive was based on performance. That's why I was also able to create a career as an artist. And obviously, it's something that comes very naturally to me. I've done that my whole life, performing and showing people what they want to see from me, showing people something that is entertaining, doing things and putting masks that would completely protect my real self, my heart, from not having to be vulnerable and express my feelings or my fears or my insecurities. After creating a life as a performer, is that I came to a place where I needed to become truly my true self, my real self, because being that person that I was portraying to be was really hurting me so badly. And that's when hypnotherapy arrived into my life. In this channel, I talk a lot about identity shifts, about overcoming trauma, about high achieving people, about how to reach your goals feeling great and not feeling drained and not burning out in the way. Today, I'm going to take you through the 8 parts on what it takes to go from your idea to the action, to actually get it done. We're going to talk identity, mental loops, fear, clarity, direction, courage, and action. We're going to reach to action at the very end, so stay at the very end. And remember that I have a self-paced program, which means it's already recorded. It's linked down below, and it's called Home to Yourself. And in that program, it's less than 1 hour, and I teach you the exact technique that I use in every single session. I teach you a nervous system regulation technique, and I teach you a self-hypnosis technique that I learned from a hypnotherapist from here, from England. She's one of the best ones in the world, and I got the honor to learn from her. So again, down below is the program, Home to Yourself, and there's also a link to book a call, a one-on-one call with me if you are interested in doing a one-on-one training with me. So starting with today's video, we're going to start with something that is super important, and that is procrastination. I heard a description of procrastination that I found it incredible, and that is that procrastination is actually the fear of becoming the next version of you. It's basically a defense mechanism of your nervous system to not expose you to failure. The thing is that if you're not willing to fail, then also you're not ready to win. When we procrastinate, it's because we are afraid. We are simply afraid of holding more responsibility, afraid of exposing ourselves to others and be seen as who we truly are, and seen in our vulnerabilities, and seeing ourselves learning something new that as adults we really lose that muscle. We are so used to already being good at whatever is it that we do that we just think it's embarrassing to be seen doing something new. But if you think on kids, they don't care about that. And we need to go back to that idea of being more like kids, playing more, allowing ourselves to fail more, allowing ourselves to be beginners, to be complete beginners, because that's how we keep our brain expanding and growing. Think on action as a muscle. Think on this goal that you have as a muscle. If you want to reach that goal, it means that you will be lifting up 100 kilos, yeah? But today, your capacity of muscle is 10 kilos. So if I give you today, whatever is it that you are working towards, you probably wouldn't have the muscle to hold that. It would be too much. It would lead you to burnout. It would lead you to lose it. And you wouldn't be able to maintain that, because Something that I learned as an artist and as a musician, that I achieved a lot of really great things in my career, is that the hardest thing is not to get there, to a big festival or to the record deal or to releases. The hard thing is not to get there, even though it's really hard. The hard thing is to maintain yourself in that level, is to do the festival again the next year, is to have a next release, it's to have a next one, to have a next one, to have a next one. And how do we do that? By growing the muscle. You cannot, if you manage to lift the 100 kilos with your 10 kilo muscle, you manage to do it once by some sort of miracle, okay, but you probably won't be able to do it twice without hurting yourself. So what we do in the first process from idea to action, it's to start preparing the muscle. How? With little actions every day. So every day you work out that muscle, you train a little bit longer, you train a little bit more. Let's say you do 10 push-ups today, tomorrow you do 10, you do 10 for a whole week, and then next week you do 15, and you do 15 for the whole week, and then the third week you do 20. By the second month, you're going to be doing 50 without even realizing. But that's not because you just went and did 50. That's because you started with 10 and you maintained yourself doing, so that you made it bigger and bigger each day that it passed. The result is you are lifting more kilograms. But the real reward lives in the doing. And this is something that I feel no one is talking about in all the channels, in all the coaching, in all the programs. They always talk about the result. They always talk about what you're going to get. But no one is talking about what it's so much pleasure and it's so much enjoyment to be doing the thing. I don't want to have from today to tomorrow 100 million followers and I don't want that. I want to get there. I want to be building this channel. I love doing this. It's so much fun. Each time that something new happens, it's like something new that I'm learning, something new that I'm getting better. And you just learn little by little. I've learned by going from 0 to 100 as a musician at a really young age that the reward really comes in the doing. And if you're not enjoying the doing, you're definitely not going to enjoy the results or the goals that you're reaching. Concrete action every day balance your nervous system. That creates clarity and direction. That creates a framework in your mind that says it's safe for me to keep on holding. I was holding yesterday 10, I'm holding today 10. Tomorrow it's safe to hold 10. So you start building that trust within yourself so that by the second month, when you're already lifting 50, you feel safe doing it. You don't feel like this is something new, that this is something that's going to break you, that this is something that it's a threat. Your nervous system feels safe because it has enough evidence that you've been doing it and you survived and you're still alive. When you're organized and manage to concrete actions daily, and have a healthy reward effort balance, you grow the muscle to hold more. Just think about it. How are you going to be able to hold 100 kilos if you feel overwhelmed with 10? And that's the same with your goals and with your ideas. You have this massive idea. Awesome. You need to funnel it all the way down to the first little concrete action that you can do today. Forget about the result. Forget about the big picture. Bring it into small actions that you can do today and that you will do tomorrow and that you will do until Friday every day. So you start preparing your nervous system so that when you look back, you're like, oh, look, I've already done all that stuff. I definitely can do the next. And that takes me to the next point of this 8-part process from idea to action. This is the juiciest part for me. And it's a question that I've been doing since I'm a musician. One of my first songs, it's called Who Is It? And it says, who is it that you really are? Because that's the most important question you can ever do to yourself. And the reason why it's so important, it's because are you waiting for people to answer or are you telling them who you are? And that difference, it's massive. When I have doubt and confusion, I cannot have focus. I cannot simplify. I cannot go straight into direction. So this is another really important question. The first one is, who are you? Are you waiting for others to tell you, or are you telling them who you are? And the second question that you're going to do to yourself is your definition of who you are based on other people's opinions or on your opinions. And this part is a little bit tricky, so bear with me. Who you are, who they think you are, and who you say you are, they need to be congruent. They need to be the same. They need to be congruent. Yeah, you cannot say you are one thing, be another thing, and have people thinking you're another thing. That's complete madness. And that happens a lot nowadays with social media, because people show themselves online in one way, then they are another way when they are alone, but then they also tell others that they are doing this other thing and this is who they are. That's crazy. There's something that happens when you start being who you really are and living through who you really are, and people seeing you for who you really are, that it's peace, that it's confidence, that it's self-belief, that it's no need of validation. It brings you freedom. It brings you peace. So those questions, take your time today to work with them. That takes me to the third part, and that is the mental loops. The mental loops are so dangerous for you. Hey, and hear me out here. The mental loops, it's like you're thinking on your idea, but you're not doing anything. So there's a loop there. You're thinking, but not bringing action. And for the brain, that it's as if you would be in a car pressing the accelerator, but there's no gear on. It's gonna burn it. Same happens with your brain when you think, but nothing happens. And it ages your brain. So stop doing that. Your personality is brave, and you have courage when you're able to say to everyone, to the world, hey, this is who I am, and you're happy, you're proud of who you are. That's a healthy ego. It's a mix of confidence and humbleness. You can be very confident with yourself and still be humble. You don't need to be arrogant, you don't need to be cocky. It's basically acknowledging all your qualities, because why not? But at the same time, being aware that there's so much more to learn, that there's always more to get better at, and having the gratitude, being grateful to be able to see that. So that's a healthy ego. A hurt or an unhealthy ego on the other side, which is a dysfunctional ego, is those ones that are based on false modesty. You know, no, I'm not that good on that. No, I'm not that great on that. No, I cannot do anything good. Like, making yourself small doesn't do you any favors, because it's keeping you stuck in not learning anything new. One step at a time on the right direction will take you to have self-confidence with yourself, to have a healthy ego, that it's not pushing you down, that it's not sabotaging you, that it's believing in your ideas and giving you the confidence to go into the action. And that takes me to talk about fear. And there's also two different types of fear. There is a healthy fear and an unhealthy fear. A healthy fear, it's one that turns into courage. You know, I'm scared, but I'm doing it anyways. And the unhealthy fear is the one that results in regret. One feels like a challenge, is exciting, it's motivating, and the other one is paralyzing. It just feels too familiar. It just keeps you small. It just keeps you where you are. And eventually, you regret not having done the things that you wanted to do. So let's put it this way. Clarity plus direction plus courage equals action. So now let's talk how to get there, how to get to the action then. Important, very, very important, it's to have internal order, a healthy sense of identity, and inner authority. Self-reassurance, which means I don't need others telling me who I am, or if I'm valuable, or if I'm worthy, or if I am anything. I know it myself. I also know my strengths and my lacks, so I put the work to get better every day of my life. To conquer your mental battles is the end of procrastination. And to conquer those battles, you need to have internal order. And internal order is reached through internal authority, to being the director. Because when you're the director, you understand when is the unhealthy fear speaking, when is the unhealthy ego speaking, and to have enough sense of direction and enough sense of identity to know that's not the real me. I'm stopping with that conversation right now. I do not accept it. I do not take it. I'm going this way. So authority is key here, to say stop that conversation, no more of those thoughts, that it's not the real me, that it's not true what I'm hearing there in my mind. I'm going to change the script. I'm going to move into this direction. How do you change the script? Yes, through subconscious reprogramming, but also through action, through showing your mind that you have evidence of the opposite. Once the things you do align with who you really are, you're going to be at peace and very proud of yourself. Not needing validation or more or different, because everything around you has aligned with who you really are through your concrete actions. So I'm going to leave you with this question. If that would be you, who would you be and how would that feel? I hope today's episode rang a bell. I hope this helped you. I hope I give you something from this fire, from this passion that I have that I really want to share, because I changed my life completely through this method. And I just want to share it because I want us all to feel this way. It's the best. You just feel free, at peace, directed, concrete. Doing your actions and doing the things feels fun, feels safe, feels, yes, I can experience, feels exciting. You just go and do it. You don't think about it. You don't fear about it. You don't wait for others to tell you. You just go and do it, and then you see what happens. I'm Lupe Eight, and remember to love yourself already. It will solve all the rest of your problems. Bye.